You didn't have to take it full over there. There you go. You got food now. Hey, kia ora. Sorry, puppy needed food. No, I totally forgot to put food in it before I left to pick her up. Kia ora. Hello. Hope you've all had a super fantastic sparkling Monday. Magic Monday. Oh, Magic Monday, yes. It's been a weird and wacky day, it has. There's been just strange requests coming through the help chat today. It's just felt weird. You really can't describe it. Just sort of feels like something was off. And what was off, I can tell you what was off. Was the fact that Zephy spent the day at the vet. We dropped her off this morning, came back home, got started on some work, got a lot of work covered this morning, got on the chat, and like half an hour after I got on the chat, I got a call from Banfield to say that Zephy was ready. She'd already been examined and all of that. They couldn't find any problems with her legs, which was awesome, especially after yesterday when she was favoring that one leg and keeping it lifted off the ground. And the x-rays came back clear. So when I went to pick her up, and I said, well, I can't get there till 5:30, and I got there at 5:30 on the nose. And they took me out back to one of the rooms, and Zephy comes in. Oh my gosh, did she have a lot to say? Oh, did she have a lecture for me about leaving her alone and all the stuff she went through that day and everything else? Yes, I got a lecture and a half. She wouldn't shut up. So I got a collar. I took the leash, the temporary leash off. I got a collar on her. I got a harness on her, and then she calmed down a little bit, and then she realized that we weren't moving. I wasn't putting the leash on her harness, so she started up again. All the while, the vet's trying to explain to me the x-rays and things. And this is something I did not realize. Probably because I've never seen any of my pets have had x-rays. But they have the same bones that we do. They have the femur, and they have the shin bone, and they have the little toe ones, which I can't think of the names of. As soon as he said that, I said, they have the same name. Their bones are the same names as ours. And he's like, yeah. I went, I did not know that. So I learned something new today. And then we're looking at her pelvic. We're looking at a pelvic view that was taken. She was laying on her back, and they took the pelvic view. And they showed me the pelvic bone, and there's this little hole in the pelvic bone, and there was this what did he call it? Oh, he called it something. There was a bone there, and it was at the tail end of the spine before the tail went off. And I said, oh, look, it's got a face, and pointed out the vet and the tech are standing there, and they're like, oh, yeah, been overtaken by aliens. But they had no explanation for why she had the problem she had with her foot yesterday, except for that maybe she had done a sprain on one of her, especially on the toes since she was. And I said, well, the weird thing was, I said that she wasn't really hobbling when she was walking. I said, but if she went to crouch, then she'd lift her foot up. And I said, and then when I was checking her out, her legs was fine. I was doing the massage on the thigh, the inside and the outside, and just feeling her foot and all of that. I said she let me play with her foot and go in between her toes and look around the pads on there and gently squeeze to see if anything was causing her discomfort. I said she just laid there and just watched me as I went up her leg to the thigh. And I said it wasn't until I put her foot flat on my hand and pushed it back towards the hip, so just pushing it straight up, I said that's when she had an issue. He's like, interesting. So I do have pain pills for her to be given as needed and to be kept on hand for if she does this again. What we have figured out that could be doing it is her fast turns. Because when she gets into hyper mode in the dog park and just starts running, and she gets dogs chasing after her, she will do these really sharp turns, and just take off again. And she does them fast, and the turn is tight and fast. And the only way I can think to describe it is think of a motorcycle race. And you know how when they're going around those corners, they almost lay flat to the ground as they go over, and some of them have their knees on the ground. Zephy gets that low to the ground in her turns, and she's like quick, just whips around and takes off again. Other dogs are kind of having to take these wide sweeps, but because of the whippet that's in her, and she gets those very quick, very fast turns and gets down low to the ground so that her side of her body is almost on the ground. And like I said to them, I said, you know the motorcycle races when they do those turns, and they're like, yeah. I said, that's basically what she gets down to. And they're like, oh, well, then she's probably strained, and told me had like a little toe sprain or something. Toe sprain, not an ankle sprain, but a toe sprain. He said, just keep an eye on her. If she's in any discomfort, he said, then give her half a tablet. He said, it'll be like a dog treat for her. And I have a few in the container there, so that's good. And he says, just give them as needed, just to help keep her comfortable. He says, now the only problem is that when she's on the pain medication is that she will think it's time to go running again. So, and I said, oh, so I've got to keep her quiet. And he's like, yeah. I said, we should be able to manage that, because I won't notice. I said, because when we go to the dog park, if she has injured herself, it's not immediate. It's like an hour or two later. And he's like, oh, good. And I said, by that stage, we're home and she's laying down anyway. But she has, I said, so she'll jump around and play around and all of that. And then all of a sudden, she doesn't want to move. And I said, that's when it finally kicks in. And so he said, well, at that point, give her half a pain pill and just try and keep her calm. I went, okay. So it came away that she was healthy. She had her heartworm shots done, and her x-rays done. Everything's clear. And so the meds that they gave me is only as needed. So it's not anything that, so she's, in fact, the doc was really, really happy with her weight. She's 37.2. Yeah, 37.2 pounds. He's really happy with her weight. He's happy with how the x-rays looked. And he said that they walked her up and down the hallways and everything else, and she didn't show any signs of any stress or anything. He manipulated her legs and her patella and the joints and everything else. He said, I heard no clicking in there, which is a good sign. He said the x-rays show that she does not have any signs of hip dysplasia, which is good because of the shepherd in her. That's quite common with shepherds, is the hip dysplasia. So there's no signs of that. So he was really, really happy. So it's like good. And of course, Zephy's put in her 2 cents worth in, until I picked her up and held her. And then she shut up. As soon as I picked her up and held her, that was it. She was done. She just relaxed into my arms and just settled in and just watched these 2 guys. And the vet techs sort of like, oh, how cute. Look how cute she is. And da-da-da-da. And Zephy was just quite happy to sit there in my arms. Problem was, she started getting, you know how when you hold something that's of a certain way, anything, if you hold anything, like if I held this flippy thing, if I held it out long enough, it would start getting heavier and heavier, and it will still weigh the same that it weighs. It's just that it feels heavier and heavier the longer you hold it. So that's, Zephy started feeling heavier and heavier. So I got the point where I had to put her down, and she was not a happy camper on that one. So then we finally got to go and got in the car and drove home. And as soon as we got home, we went straight out for our walk. So we just got back from that. And she's already eaten half of her dinner. Oh, and she cleaned up all the food she put on the floor as well. And now she's trotting up and down, getting her loves. She's already been up on the dash a couple of times, and yeah, so she's doing really, really well. So after my weird and wacky day, I think it's weird and wacky because she wasn't around the RV at all today. Because normally I look up and see what she's doing, see if she's there or in the bedroom, and if she's up there, if she's looking at me or if she's looking out the window, if something's got her attention. And it didn't help because I had an Amazon package due today. So I did not have my dog on patrol to tell me when it turned up. And I'm sitting here working, I'm like, oh yeah, I was supposed to have an Amazon delivery today. I wonder where it is. And I go on there on the tracking, it says, you are the next stop. And I saw a guy in the shirt that you see them wear, the polo shirt, going to the place next door. I thought, don't tell me he's putting stuff next door. So I went out and my box was sitting out there. So I was like, yes. And I was like, damn, I wish because I had nobody to notify me that somebody was outside. So yeah, it was kind of cool. So that was my weird and wacky day because Zephy wasn't here. It just felt strange not having her here and having her come up. Like every time she goes to walk past me to go to the bedroom or the dash, I go, where do you think you're going? And she'll divert over to me to get some scratches and some loving, and then she carries on to wherever it was she was going to go. Or she sometimes changes her mind and goes back to where she came from. She's done that too. But so how's your Magic Monday been? Done any cyber shop? I have not been cyber shopping yet. I haven't even looked. I mean, I've got tons of emails have come in. Oh, get this for Cyber Monday, get that for Cyber Monday. And I've just gone delete. And I thought, oh, maybe I'll go and have a look at Amazon. So I have the page up, but I haven't been on it yet. Like I put the page up at one point and then forgot and then got distracted. Oh yeah, I've got to go do this. So I got distracted doing that. So went and got that done and totally forgotten. I just looked up now and see the Amazon tab open, so I haven't even had a look at that yet. So I'm kind of proud of myself. I haven't gone cyber shopping, and well, I do have a couple of things I do need to go and order. So, but they're not done through Amazon; they're done through other sites. So anyway, that's it from me for today. I hope you've all had a super fantastic, sparkling, magical Monday, and we will catch you guys back here bright and early tomorrow morning for Tune Up Tuesday. Sometimes it just escapes you what day you're on. Anyway, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening. Heck, konara.